And it is quote unquote managed by doctors and distributed by doctors, and the patient never has an exam. They never see a doctor physically, and it's not just impressions. They actually have kiosks in shopping centers where you can go in and get a scan. So this is in the United States now, and I can guarantee you it's going to be worldwide. There's no stopping this perspective, because we are fighting it tooth and nail from a medical standpoint, from a dental standpoint, and they pretty much are ignoring us, you know, and they're doing what they want to do right now. They are funded, they're on course to make $1 billion this year in the United States. And last year, they made half that. So it is, patients just walk in and get scanned. So that's what I'm up against. And just so you know, in the United States, that purple line is Google Trends. That purple line is Smile Direct Club. That's search terms for Smile Direct Club. So look at the increase just in the last 2 years. Red is search terms for braces. Blue is search terms for orthodontics. But look at the increase. They're almost perfectly paired with clear aligners and with Invisalign already. So, and that's just in the last 2 years. So we know this is going nowhere. And the major reason is convenience. It's patient convenience. But it's removing us from the discussion. Here's the worldwide global trends. You see they're starting to make inroads here, even worldwide. Forces, everything, even, you'll notice at the bottom, a little bit of Southern voodoo and a little bit of prayer. And how many of us have done that? I mean, we've been trying to treat class 2s and trying to get there over and over and over again. And here we are at 27, 28 months, and we just throw in the towel because we're like, they're the patient's beat. We've done everything we can do. So hopefully you'll see some solutions as we go on. I got introduced to the motion appliance when I saw Luis CARRRER speak literally 4 years ago. And I'm sitting in the audience just where you were, and I'm watching his cases, and I'm telling myself, I'm not doing that. And I have no reason why I'm not doing it. So I started using it. So let's look at a case real quick. This is a simple case, but it's routine for our practice. This is what we see day in and day out. So I have a discussion with mom, tell her the midline's gonna be off, but she's unilateral class 2. In this case, in my practice at the time, since she was unilateral, this case would have been a Herb's case in my practice. And the reason is because they all deprogram as soon as we put the first wire in. And the class 1 side goes a little bit more class 2. So I treatment plan her for a motion appliance, and look at the resolution at 1 month. 1 month. Here she is at 2 months. Here she is at 3 months in motion. So we debond her from the motion appliance, bond her brackets, and then here she is a couple months later in 2020 arch wires. And putting this out very routinely in our practice. Do our Pan-X repos, no repositions needed. Maintain good arch form, not destroying the occlusion. Sorry about the bite there. Put in our TMAs. 7 months in treatment. Sorry about the delay. Do y'all have patients that don't brush in Saudi Arabia?
Never
No?
brush.
Oh,
Don't brush is not a term.
most of them don't brush? So
Never.
we have a joke in the South. Do you know why the toothbrush do you know how the toothbrush was invented in Alabama? Because it was invented in India. So here she is, 7 months SLX, and done with treatment. So 10 months total, or 13 months total, 10 months SLX, sorry, not 7. So only 3 months in the motion appliance, 10 months of braces, and we're done, and it's very predictable. So this is what we're doing now on a routine basis in our practice. And this is after 2 months of retention. There's before and afters. So I know this is a relatively straightforward case, but this is what we all see routinely. This is what we all want to do routinely and predictably. Because as time goes on, we're having to compete with, do a one-step consult. Child's already out of school, the adult's already away from work, and we just go ahead and take care of it that day. So it's really revolutionized our ability to same-day start in our practice very quickly and very efficiently. Now this afternoon, I'm going to be teaching a course in this. I would love to see some of y'all there, and we'll go into more detail on the actual function of the appliance and the nuances of the appliance at that time. So as far as Class 2 is concerned, this is our goal. We want to maintain that beauty of the lower face. I really don't want to extract unless I absolutely have to. And in my practice right now, for the most part, about the only cases I extract on are by max. Most other cases we do non-extraction, and we resolve the Class 2 in this fashion. And the motion's easily bonded. Typically we bond it to the upper side. You can either do clear aligners, or you can do braces. And in our practice, we don't tell the patients that they have to decide at the very beginning of the appointment. Since the vast majority of our APs go into this kind of workflow, if you will, what we do is we leave those decisions up to them at that time. So from a soft tissue perspective, you want to maintain that upper lip. That's the secret. And then you want to enhance that sublabial fold in the chin. If you extract upper canines, or excuse me, upper first premolars all the time, a lot of times when they're 14, that's when our patients have the most lip support that they're ever going to have in their life. But yet in the South, in the US, we had a lot of extraction therapy done in the 80s and 90s. So I have tons of moms. So at 6.5 months of the motion appliance, we removed it. Went ahead and bonded his lower arch. Took advantage of some derotation mechanics on the lower threes as I had the light wires in on the lower arch. Class 1, we actually have positive overjet now. Plenty of room for his mandible to grow a little bit more as he ages out. So 13 months total. And then at this point in treatment, he stopped showing for appointments, I think, because he's getting happy. So our treatment time goes a little bit longer than I normally like. Typical of so many Class 3 cases, the lower anterior. This young lady comes in, she's got a deviated mandible. She's clearly a surgical case. My closest surgeon that does orthodontic surgery is an hour away. So needless to say, I have to come up with ways of doing things non-surgical. I have a discussion with her, informed consent her on the risk and benefits on everything, and she opts to do a motion appliance. Now on this, you'll notice that her lower left 4, and lower left 3, see how rotated that lower left 3 is? And you'll notice that I opted to bond what we call shorties on this case. So I went from the 7 to the 4 instead of the 6 to the 3. So I'll level in the line the anterior, the maxilla first. And then we started running our Class 3. This will rebound during treatment because you'll notice that as I get it nice and tight, looks great from my perspective. I'm a little intimidated by the occlusal plane change from the 3 to the 4, but overall I'm trusting in my mechanics, in my passive self-ligation mechanics. So we opt to debond here. Hindsight being 2020, I probably should have overcorrected a little bit more. The reason being, you'll notice we open up a little bit as we do our alignment. Do our light wire mechanics. You see how we're getting a little bit of a rebound on that lower 4. It's all about learning. Continue with our light wire. Now in an O and 8. And sometimes during treatment, we'll augment with some class 3 elastics. These are after class 3 triangles on the left. So upper 6, lower 3, upper 3. Settling in nicely, but not quite getting that intimate occlusion on the left side that I would like. We struggle with that. But you see she's got a pretty prominent chin deviation. Outright should have been a surgical case. But that just wasn't a reality for her in the US. Because surgery in our country is private pay, probably somewhere around that $15,000 to $20,000 US in order to do surgery of that nature. So pretty nice non-surgical resolution for her. Here she is after a little bit of, it's either they are a motion or they aren't. So if there's no AP resolution, then we go right into either clear aligners or braces. But this is our workflow now for 99.9% of our patients. From a training perspective for our staff, for associates, for everybody, this is a very easy protocol for us to train. And since it fits the vast majority of our patients, this is what we apply day in and day out. And we'll go into more detail on this as well this afternoon. So with that workflow in mind, this is pretty much what we do on a day in, day out basis. It's applying sagittal first, passive self-ligation, and then also digital mechanics as well. Right now, I would say about 85% of our patients are finished with clear aligners, even though they started with braces. We have 4 3D printers in our practice now, and so what we do is we debond them early and then